There's a video, Aaron, that I'm going to send to you. I'm going to have you look up with El DeBarge singing with Sheila E. And he's doing either It's a Dream or Love Me in a Special Way. And he's playing piano while she's playing drums. And what's fascinating is that if you don't know El DeBarge, you kind of take a step back. Like, you mean he ain't just the light skinned guy?
Yeah.
Like you mean he's the producer? Yeah. You mean he
did some stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So it really
He didn't get Janet on an accident.
So it just shows a lot. It just shows.
He didn't get Janet because he's yellow.
Right. Because they're playing songs together, and she's like, "You're talented." Anyway, so here's the funny thing about this past year. Okay, this is what we're gonna get into. This year taught us a lot of things, which is very like things I pulled that I was like, you just don't see, and you won't see probably again. Right, 53 years ago, the Knicks won the championship. So think about that, like. That's like half a century ago.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Society went full throttle on AI this past month. Okay. Creatively, they're not there. We're not jumping in the deep end of the pool. We kind of get it. We kind of like it. We know we can utilize it for, but we're not just succumbing to it.
Okay.
Okay. We're not. Society's definitely not doing that. Okay. Politics change, right? You know, it's interesting now, right? I guess if you own all three branches of government, doesn't mean you have all the answers either, right? This has its advantages and it has its drawbacks, right? No matter what you do, okay? Movie theaters recovered.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, it looks like this year they may get. Now, here's the thing, though.
They covered well.
Movie companies caught on as well too, okay? Because no longer will The Notebook be in theaters.
Right.
Okay. We're not doing the $10 million 50. We'll do that on Netflix.
Yep.
Okay. But the blockbusters, Odyssey, Spider-Man, Avengers, okay, animation movies, Toy Story, Mario Brothers, they're coming out for that.
Yeah.
They're now coming out for that. And they're having it and they're having their movie experiences because especially with movies like the Avengers and Spider-Man, if we're gonna spend money, right? Don't we want to see the money on the screen?
Listen.
Right. If we're spending money, like, I want to see what I'm paying for. I don't want to sit back. I want to watch. I'm not saying we can't watch a love story, but the love story I can get on my couch. Right.
I saw the Odyssey last week, and the theater was packed.
It was packed.
Theater was packed. I'm like, I'm looking for a calm show. Theater was packed.
Theater was packed.
Yeah.
Week 3.
Yeah.
Week 3, week 4. Sports changed too. Okay. Nobody had LeBron going to the Philadelphia 76ers on that bingo card. Nobody saw that coming. Oh, if you're a sports fan or not.
Nobody saw it coming.
If you put $1 down in Vegas, you just bought your house.
Yeah.
If you bet that one. Okay. And the rules changed for us culture. Say again?
Oh, Couchy.
Oh, okay. and here's the last one. Before we get into the show. And Dr. Fauci's a fraud.
But is he really though?
Well, again, this is part of what the world taught us.
Right.
I'm just saying what the world taught us.
Yeah, is he really
okay?
though?
Is he? Here's what I do know. Okay, 6 feet was some BS.
Yeah.
And the whole world had stickers that said 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
motor vehicles to McDonald's had stickers that said 6 feet apart.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not knocking Fauci. I'm just saying it's interesting what this year has told us.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay? All right. Industry rule number 4080, Luigi. Let's get into it.
Industry rule number 4080. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
It's so funny to people tell you anything you won't believe.
If they say it clear enough, slow enough, and concise enough,
And consistent
enough, it's biggie. It becomes not unbelievable, it becomes
Unbelievable.
Welcome to Industry Rule number 4080. Goju Nation knows me as Tally. Thank you for allowing us into your homes, your headphones, your commutes, your workouts, and your conversations all season long. This one's a little bit different. I don't really have a prepared lecture, although this is a monologue. I don't really have a prepared monologue. Just three people looking back and connecting the dots about what this season has actually taught us. So welcome back, fellas. Sensei Aaron Wilson and life coach Tony Watts. Let the natural banter happen.
Quadronym. Not sensei. Quadronym.
Okay. Break that down and explain.
Yes, please.
Well, quadronym is Grandmaster in Korean.
Okay.
My students, I make them do push-ups when they say sensei. So I can't say sensei. All right.
Nice.
That's why.
That work
Nice.
Right. I know they're watching right now because a few of them told me they saw the podcast, but I saw you on TV. I said, okay.
So let me put this in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just watching Channel 5 back in the day, and the challenger walked into the dojo.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Where's the Grandmaster?"
Right.
Yeah. Right.
No, but I want you to give this. I want you to say the title again slowly because you texted the terminology to me,
Right.
and the way it's even spelled takes a second.
Right.
So say it again, pronounce it again, and even spell it. So I'm not saying we're not qualified to understand what this is, but just so we're edified
Right.
in exactly what we're hearing.
Right. Quadronym. KWANJANGNIM. Quadronym. You're going to hear a lot of people going to spell it different. A lot of times with Koreans, sometimes their K's sound like G's. So if you hear somebody say like quadronym like that, it's the same thing because a lot of K's and G's sound the same. So don't get kind of confused with that. Yeah, I mean, like Sabanim is like a master, like a first level master. Somebody reached 4th degree and above. So when you get to about 7th degree, you're considered 4th to 7th. When you get to like 8th and 9th, you consider Grandmaster. So that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
And that my instructor said you can't be master until you're Grandmaster to your 9th degree. So that's what just think about that.
He's plucking flies out of the air.
Yeah. Interesting story. He was like, I was fighting in a tournament and I won the grand championship, right? I'm all happy, jumping up and down. He walked up to me and said, "Why you let him back in the fight?" What do you mean?
Wow.
I said, "I won." He said, "Why did you let him back in the fight?"
Wow.
I said, "It was 3-0. You had him. He came back with 2 and you scored one more. It's 4-2. He said, "It should have been 4-0. You should have just
Wow.
So he was like really upset about that. Even though I won the money, had the trophy, all the money. He's like, "You should have left him on donut."
That's Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. Let's get it perfect. Do your job.
All right, that's a good way to start this off. We'll start the qualified section of what we're doing here. The Q. And we'll talk about what we saw. Forget the and I appreciate you, gentlemen, because we've had conversations and you've referenced other episodes within our conversations, not just the ones that you were in. Right. So I just appreciate the support within that standpoint. But we're not going to talk about favorite episodes or downloads. We're not going to talk. I gave you all the views already, so we already smiled about that, right? Okay. But here's the first question, okay, to keep the conversation going. Well, Aaron spoke first, so Tony, I'm going to let you go first this one, okay? What surprised you this season after our episodes?
That's a big question. I'm at a stage and like a lot doesn't surprise me. But what moves me is when people start paying attention, because we live in a generation of a lot of naysayers and a lot of you got to prove it. And for people to come back around, like you said earlier, and accept what's being said and feed off of it and go, wow, we need some more of that. That's not I wouldn't say surprising, but it's edifying. It's encouraging because it's difficult to be in this space trying to, for lack of a better reason to do this, to impart what you've learned through getting your knees dirty, scraping your hands, falling down and being, no one there to pick you up and trying to tell others you don't have to go through this, just listen. And then they get it. That's something that's important to me. Yeah.
Aaron?
The thing that surprised me the most was a couple of things. One thing, so many people saw the podcast. A lot of people came up to me and was like, I know at least about 25 people in like the first week I saw it. I was like, how long you been doing podcasts? And I was like, oh, like 30 of them. But I was surprised. And a couple of kids from the karate school saw it. Their parents saw it. One lady, I think I was actually in Norwalk, and she was like, I saw you on the podcast. Were you on the podcast? I was like, you probably did see me. But I was like, oh, so I was like,
So the visibility.
what was she offended about? And the other thing was it amazed me how the connection with the fitness and the mental health was so related.
Right.
That's the part. That's when I went up and gave the high five. Because really, that day, it really hit me because so many things kind of came to the forefront for me. And I was like, wow, this is really, especially the part when you were talking about how the physical part, the mental affects the physical.
Yeah.
And I actually went through that to understand it. Like, I almost had a similar story that you had when you say you went to the doctor and they said nothing was wrong. Same thing with me. I went to the doctors and I contributed to you, and I didn't know if to shake your hand or fight you. because what I was going through, and I was like, I think it started when I called you that day. Then after that, I went to the hospital pretty like 3 times, 4 times, like in a week. Like every other week I went to the hospital. And they was like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I went to the doctors, and I went to the heart doctor. He's like, nothing wrong with you. All of that, nothing's wrong with me. So,
yeah,
Mental.
absolutely.
That's the part. That's the part that was surprising the most. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that will answer this question. What changed for you after we discussed it, right? That answers that one. Tone, why don't you say that? You got something for that one? Like what changed after we discussed it? Because I'll give my 2 pieces. Okay,
All right.
my 2 pieces. But you go first.
All right, cool. So what changed for me was when Aaron said he was under 190 something pounds, that he had lost 20 pounds. I was like, okay, you playing. Here's another 60-year-old, but he's in here getting it in. Mm-hmm. Regardless of that, he's done this work as a karate instructor, and that comes with all of his other things, but he's actually putting in the work. The other thing, when he said, I'm doing 200 push-ups at night, I was like, yeah, you playing. But what I love what he said was it's a slow process. You do your 5 full week,
right? Then
you do your 6 full week, and all of a sudden, your body just goes, okay, I can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was enlightening for me as well.
What changed for me was keeping promises to myself, because I'm currently doing that significantly.
Yeah.
Okay. Checking in with myself. Okay.
Very important.
Right. With myself and making sure I'm answering myself. You mentioned that as well too. Don't just ask yourself, answer yourself.
Right.
Okay. And then I'm bringing in Paul from all of the conversation, right? And then adding value to that part of the conversation we're having. So I'm literally waking up in the morning, I'm saying, we good? And if we're not good, I'm saying, well, what we going to do?
What we going to do?
Okay. And I'm answering that question, okay, as I'm making the bed. Okay, I'm doing that. Okay. And then I'm running, then I'm making the promise to myself from a health standpoint that I need to be in the gym. Okay, that's not gym working out. That's gym health. I'm not trying to bodybuild. Right. Okay, I'm at a health place. But what I'm saying is that conversation with both of you guys have me in that space where that's what I'm doing with myself actively, to the point where it's part of my routine now, and it's not something I'm just kind of, well, what should I do today? That is what I do when I wake up.
So I want to piggyback off of what you said about making up the bed, asking yourself the question, and then making up the bed. It gives you, making up your bed while you're asking that question gives you the opportunity to process. Because depending on the size of the bed, because you're moving from one side to the other, you're taking one sheet and you're folding it and you put it in place. You're taking another sheet and you put it in place. And if you're processing the question at the same time, you are clearing the space, you are making up the space. At the same time, you're decluttering your mind. So that's what making up your bed is so important in the morning, because it's your first win. It is absolutely your first win. And if you can ask the question, am I okay? And ask those questions to get to the root cause. If I'm not okay, what do I do next? And I'm going to say this. You don't have to do anything. It's okay to be like, I'm going to be in this funk for the next 2 hours. It's okay to sit there on a made bed, all right? On a made bed, because not making the bed keeps you keeps you deeper in the funk. Making the bed gives you an accomplishment that lifts you above the funk. Now, you ain't got to walk out of it right now, but when you get up and turn around, be like, I did accomplish something. Right? It is a first step.
Because I knew, because the first couple times when I asked myself the question, I didn't have an answer. And I kind of stopped and said, okay, so we're indifferent today, and that's okay, all right? But now we know that. Let's kind of move forward.
Right.
Let's take that and turn that into what can and what can't affect me, right? And then kind of move forward from there. But now, that, like I said, now it's become part of the regimen, if you will, okay? Now I have an active conversation about it, how I'm dealing with it, okay? Maybe I just need to go to the gym, right? What you doing? I don't know, but I'll figure it out by the time I get to the gym.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
It might be that thought process. So
Exactly.
either way, it kind of pulls itself together.
And let me do this as well. Don't think that waking up should be a gradual process. Don't put yourself in a situation where you just got to jump out of bed because you've hit the snooze button 18 times and now you're off to the races to get to the job or get to the next thing.
Right.
Make waking up a gradual, refreshing process, even when you're in the funk.
That's right.
I'm not going to rush to get to the job. I'm not going to rush to go make this coffee. I'm going to process and ask myself the questions. I'm going to process. I'm going to make my bed. If I have to, like, one thing that Denzel Washington said that I thought that was amazing and it's very necessary. No matter what religion that you follow, put your slippers way under the bed, so you have to get on your knees to get them. Because once you surrender to what you need to do for the day, then it's a better process of moving forward. It's a better process of saying, yeah, I'm in a funk and I don't know what I'm going to do next, but we're going to figure it out. Do I have to call Tally? Do I have to call Aaron? Do I have to call my therapist? Hey, I might need to talk to you today, right? Or I'm feeling this way. What are my tools? How do I get into my toolbox, right? Those are those meditation moments that's a part of prayer that gets you to a space where you can calm down, regulate your cortisol, and get you to a place where you can get up, still sit on that made bed and go, all right, I'm good. Even though I'm not good, I'm good. Right. And begin to process through the day. And you'll find that gratitude for where you are, no matter what that looks like, it's amazing.
That's what I'm.
It's amazing.
I won't say I'm reveling in it, but that's what I'm kind of smiling at. I'm kind of smiling at that the process kind of helps the process.
Right.
And within that, I'm able to move forward and attack things differently, different energy, proper energy. Okay, when it comes to certain circumstances, because like I said, you deal with yourself first. Right. So when the world comes to you, like, I'm kind of ready for you because I kind of dealt with myself already. Right. Exactly. Okay. So we're kind of there in the same place. So this is good because what it also does for what we all kind of had in common here, okay, is two things. The common thread was one. Look what time does once you receive this, right? A little bit like this, along with time. Okay, get you onto a path. Right. Rather, and like you said, Tom, rather than rushing it or pushing it, you kind of organically land and you're kind of doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay? So you pause, you let the thought land, you let the energy land, and you're kind of moving forward without even realizing you're moving forward. Right. So it's not a heavy lift. It's just kind of like breathing. It's like brushing your teeth. It's kind of like once you get to that place, it's kind of good in that sense.
Let me jump in a little bit on that one. And what it also does, it transcends into other things. For example, like you get in the habit of doing certain things, like you saying get up in the morning. Sometimes you get on the edge of the bed, take those deep breaths. And sometimes you jump right up, the blood is circulating. It's not a good thing anyway. You should sit at the edge of the bed for a few seconds anyway and collect yourself, especially when you get older. The circulation slows down. I even see that myself. And it also going to make you start thinking about other things you need to do. And then we talk about that going to the doctor's thing. Like a lot of how men don't go to the doctors, and you'll start thinking about like other things. For example, I started walking, doing some other things. Like, I know I got an appointment coming up. And I was kind of excited to go to the doctor because I went to the heart doctor and he was like, okay, I wanted to hear that you got that clean bill of health. I didn't want to walk around. And it made me feel better. Right. Once he said, ain't nothing wrong with you. Right. Ain't nothing wrong with you. He said, you lost like 30 pounds, didn't you? And when he noticed it right away, and I said, yeah, he said, ain't nothing wrong. He gave me another blood test. I think what happened, they gave me that calcium test, and you lay down or whatever, and the numbers were up. And he was like, well, but you also have to fast when they tell you to do it. So if you have food in you, it's going to be up.
Yeah, it's going to be a different number.
And then when he did the blood test, which I should have took about a week ago, but I got it because when I changed the meds, they said, well, wait until the meds are in your system, these meds correctly, and then take the blood test. So I did that, and he's like, I got a call in the morning. They called me at 8 o'clock, and he said, oh, you do whatever, everything's fine. Just do what you're doing. So I was like, okay, good. So it just makes you kind of be regimented. And if I don't want to say anything to men, because we know we don't go to the doctors. Guys, you got to go to the doctors. You have to be regimented, and you got to make your appointments. Don't put them off, because the day you put something off, you could have something. I know a girl was telling me about her father that had colon cancer, and he didn't go to the doctors. He died at 49 years old.
The worst.
Once he found out,
The worst.
it was too late. Colon cancer run right through him. Because he waited. He waited. You can't wait. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I needed to say that to the men. We got to drive that home for us.
So we're going to roll into the verify part of it. The V. That was good. Thank you, gentlemen, for that so far. Okay, that's good stuff. That's good. Let's zoom out. Okay? Let's talk about the themes. Okay, and again, like I said, it's going into the physical, mental, diet, emotional, wherever it goes. Okay, and it kept coming back to when we connected the dots, right? Even what we just said now, it kept coming back to us as people keeping our promises to ourselves. Right? That's like another common thread, keeping the promise to yourself. So you can say, I think I got an appointment coming up when you're promising yourself to go take care of yourself, right? I need to make it to bed every day. You're promising yourself you're going to be organized to a certain extent to kind of get things done. What this turns into is that when you do this with yourself, right, it becomes more about you as a person, about the people in your lives, because you improve your value system for what you represent for yourself and what you want around you, who you represent around you, right? So then trust becomes more important than the reach that people have to get to you. Because you kind of say, no, I know you're reaching, but get away from me. I just need you right here. Okay? You start getting leverage to control your own narrative when you start doing this, right? People can't say, you know what you should be doing? No, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't need you to tell me. Okay? And then something that Aaron said before, he said in the first time we sat together, okay, you're being the example. So now people
vitally important.
So now people walk around you, they say, oh, I see what you're doing. I see how you're doing it, right? And like we sat here right now, we all got together, right? Within the first 5 minutes, we all gave each other a compliment about each other based upon what we see within each other from the last time we saw each other. Right? So that's significant. That's significant within itself. Okay. So the pattern is the narrative. We keep saying this. I've been saying this all season. Okay. The pattern is the narrative. If you have a pattern and you develop that pattern, you are dictating what is happening. Okay. And that becomes your headline. Okay. So now we're going to do a little fast break thing. We're going to try.
And before you go into the fast break?
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's called mastering your story.
Hey. There you go. Controlling the narrative, mastering your stories.
Yeah.
Tomato, lemons, limes. But it's all value. It's all value. Salt. We can keep going. It's all value add.
Yeah.
It's all value add once you do it. Okay. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna try to do this. Okay. I got this little quick fire section where I just give me 1 sentence answers.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna go back and forth.
Got it.
Okay. I'm gonna start with Tony. Okay.
Forgive me.
What does winning look like within this whole narrative? What does winning look like?
Within this whole narrative, winning looks like taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul.
Good. Aaron, what is underrated in getting to that win?
Well, underrated is, for example, I'm gonna give you like how I looked at the emotional wheel, and I looked at it to be I underrated it until I started I actually use the emotional wheel now. But when I looked at it, I couldn't see it at that moment. And then on Sundays at 7 o'clock, that's when I actually, go through the topics. It was underrated because because when you don't do anything, it's underrated because you really don't believe in it.
Right.
So I had to sell it to myself. So from the conversation with Tony and things that I was going through myself. I said, I think I got to check this emotional wheel out a little bit.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Which is ditto on that one.
Yeah.
One sentence answer. Try next time. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You only one sentence. You gave us a paragraph.
Oh, damn. Oh.
It's okay.
Emotional wheel.
Tony,
Gotcha.
what part of the story will everyone get wrong if they aren't paying attention?
That they're not good enough.
Like that. They're starting to learn this one. This is good. Aaron, what is something in the same vein that you want to see from our audience a year from now?
Getting started.
Love that. Let's now I want y'all to go back, okay? And I want y'all to add 2 more sentences to what you just said, because both of those are simple answers, but they do require context.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's go back, Tony. What part of the story will everyone get wrong if they aren't paying attention? You said that they aren't enough.
Yeah, because if first off, you need to take a break from social media and define who you are for yourself. So if you say that I'm going to be a podcaster, then that should be your concentration. You should be studying podcasters. If I'm going to be a martial arts expert, you should be, hey, Aaron, how can I come to your dojo? Like, those are the things that set you up to be who you need to be, right? We get lost in the, sorry for going on a tangent. We get lost in everything that we see while we're scrolling. That's not real life.
Okay.
Define your real life.
Got it. Aaron, you said what's something in this vein you want to see a year from now, and you stayed consistent with this.
Right.
Okay. You said you want to see them get started.
Yep.
So is that a numbers thing, or is that more of a? I'll let you give context. Like, give me a couple sentences of context on that, because I like that answer, because everybody can get started.
See, the thing is about, and we also talked this, and Tony reiterated, that you just got to start somewhere. And I think what happens is when we think it's this big production we have to do, or we have to go and do 200 push-ups the first night. You don't. That's why we started the concept of doing the 10 push-ups and drinking the water and stuff like that. Because I know people that don't drink water at all. And I said, they'll drink something like this and think it's a whole gallon. But you got to get started. So if the doctor says you got to drink water, you got to drink water, and it's going to have to be gradual. But people don't do that. They put too much pressure on themselves. So when you put the pressure on yourself, you're not going to do it because you're making this, like my mother said, mountain out of a molehill. Yep. So once you make that mountain out of a molehill or big thing out of nothing, you're not going to do it because you're going to think it's so involved. It was interesting. For example, a friend of mine was telling me that she was trying to apply for a job, and she said a few lines, and then they hired her. She's like, wow, I should have been said that. And one thing she said was like, I'm going to be on time, and I'm going to do my homework, and I'm going to come prepared. Right. So those 2 things she said, they hired her right away. And all the other stuff she said, when she said those 2 things, it was really simplistic. And, so it made me think about that. It's just like, you think it's a big deal. You got to say something, my brother say all these swelling words. Well, they call words swelling. Why you got to use all these swelling words? So, but it's just something that's real simplistic. Just start. Okay. Just start somewhere.
Culturally, Tony, what would you like to see happen? We're back in fast break mode.
I apologize if I get your podcast canceled. Become unified within our own community.
Yeah, we're a divisive community. Let's stop there. Let's slip that one in.
Yeah.
Let's slip that one in. I know exactly what he's thinking. I'm thinking the same way.
Yeah.
In this space, Aaron, what is considered hype compared to reality?
Ooh.
Well, hype? Well, I think hype is a couple of different things. Because sometimes just the idea of telling you you're going to come to the gym and you see commercials and you see people in great shape and they sell that to you. They sell a person in great shape to get you to come to the gym instead of showing you somebody just starting from ground zero and making their gains. I think a commercial should be that. They just want to glorify with marketing and it's overhyped. But at the end of the day, we know the game in a couple of months you're going to quit anyway. But if you gradually, if you show somebody that started out and lost a little weight and in progress, you'll be like, wow, I can do that. But if you show somebody that's muscular or well-built, a woman with great shape, people chase that. You can't chase it
Nope.
because it's not a competition. Once you put yourself in a competition, you can't put yourself with a professional model that's, they probably don't even, do as much as you think they do.
Okay.
So,
Nah. That was a good answer.
yeah.
It's a good answer. Good answer. All right, that was good for rapid fire. I didn't beat you up too much. I didn't do too many. I just kind of gave you a couple each. Okay, we can get to what's certified right now. The C. All right, certified part of the conversation. We're in good shape. This is good. This is very good. Healthy conversation. You know what the best part about this is for me? This is organic. Right. This is not Aaron forcing conversation to feed the podcast. It's not Tony saying, "Oh, Tony, say something different." No, this is what we do. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Is what it is. Okay. So here are the new rules based upon what we're speaking about here. Right. You got to slow the conversation down a little bit, just a little bit, so you can pay attention to what we're deciphering and giving to you guys here, right? Because this was like, before the past two podcasts, we kind of gave more defined rules, roles, terminology. Right. Okay, situated that. Right now, we're kind of free flowing because if you paid attention to what Aaron and Tony told you, you should be right here with us. With having a calm conversation about how we're moving forward, because you made your bed, you checked in with yourself, you're doing 10 push-ups a day, you're doing your leg lifts, you're drinking your water, right? You should be doing some of this. If that makes you with us. If not, then start. Right. Right? Start. Okay. Every season should leave people with something to carry within this situation. Not a quote, not a principle. So what are the new rules? Tony?
New rules. There are no new rules. They're just rules that have always been in place. What Aaron said, start. Be consistent. Do not beat yourself up if you quote unquote fail. The only failure there is not continuing. If you work out, you say, I'm going to work out 5 days, and you work out 4, you win. You work out 3, you win, right? If you take a day off, make sure, come hell or high water, you're back on the saddle the next day. You have to build up the consistency. Aaron said it best. Like, you don't just get up and do 200 push-ups. You go and go, okay, I'm going to try to do 5. You do 4 because your muscles wore out because you haven't done this before. Mm-hmm. You keep going on. 4 will get easy. You can move to 5. It's a slow transition. It's consistency. Right. Starting and consistency is where we need to be at.
There you go. Rule number 1, starting and consistency. Build on that, Aaron. Rule number 2.
Make a promise to yourself.
Ooh.
And funny about it, I guess the algorithm picked it up because I hear everybody saying it now. Nobody was saying it before.
Now, I'm going to throw a little tally text sidebar on here, okay? I have the means to find out when things are actually said online, who said them first, and who came afterwards. Okay? Shouldn't have said it out loud, but it is what it is. Okay, so we can find it out. Okay?
Can you find out who started Hard Work Pays Off? I think I started that
okay.
30 years ago. So you looked that one up?
So that's a good one. Let's go. So rule number 2, make a promise to yourself. Okay? Consistent start. Tony, start, consistency. Rule number 1. Number 2, make a promise to yourself. Yeah. Piggyback off of that, Tony. Rule number 3.
Don't listen to anybody else's narrative. You'll get lost. Don't listen to anybody else's narrative. It's your narrative. It's you against you every day. It's not you against Tally because he's got 5,000 views and 80,000 followers. It's not about that. It's about what you put on the table on a daily basis.
Okay. Piggyback off of that, Aaron. Rule number 4.
Wake up and be the best person you could possibly be. When you get up, you have to make the commitment to do your best. And everybody's best is going to be different. But like I said, if a person don't know how to swim and he swims, that's a compliment. Person never, like a girl lost 10 pounds. She never lost 10 pounds in her life. She won the lottery. You know what I mean? So once you make that commitment, and that's what happens, you be the best you can possibly be. If you get up and try to give your best every day, because people don't give their best, they do their bare minimum. Mm-hmm. You also know how it is, Tony, the things you went through, and you had to kind of figure it out. At first, you had to figure it out before you probably got help. You was like, what's going on? And then once you didn't figure it out, you went to get help, right?
That's right.
And when you sit and train and you thought, I'm not losing that weight or something's going on, then you say, well, what am I doing wrong? Or how should I change it? And you start doing research. You got to look at yourself and just want to do better for yourself.
Okay. Now that you're being the best person you could be, you have the routine of what we're doing here, Tony. What's rule number 5?
Rule number 5, putting all of these 5 things together would be, I'm gonna go back to what Aaron said, be the example. Because at that point, if you're doing these things consistently, the people around you are going to start saying things like, you look good. What are you doing? Right? Don't let that go to your head.
Right.
Don't let that go to your head. It's the worst thing in the world to do. Just continue to be consistent. Continue to build on what you're doing. Tell them, hey, I don't, and I got to say this, I'm sorry. Don't lie. Don't lie. I've been busting my tail. This is the hardest thing I've done to this point.
So let's walk that through.
Yeah.
Because you're saying don't lie. You're saying don't lie to the circumstance.
Don't
right?
lie to the
When somebody says, "What are you doing with yourself?" and the answer is, I'm just working out. No. You need to say, "Yo, I'm dragging my butt up at 4:30 to be in that gym at 5, and I'm in that gym for an hour and a half every time to make sure this is the result." Right? It's not necessarily puffing out your chest, but it's definitely saying the reality of the situation. Don't downplay it. Is that what you're saying?
And it could be, I went to the gym at 5 and walked in the gym and then walked out.
Because the first 2 days, I just couldn't do it.
It could be day 25. But I walked out because it's too hard for me right now. But I showed up just to make my mind understand I have to show up.
So the layers
Right,
of the
the layers of the dynamic. He said it so poignant earlier when he said how we look at these supermodels and these gym guys, and we're looking at their end process, and we're not looking at the process, right? We concentrate on the process. Their failure days. You cannot become successful without failure days.
And that needs to be spoken out loud.
You can't be successful without failure days. So you gotta, there's times when you will go to the gym and you will try to lift those weights and your body's like, I'm not dealing with you right now. And the fact that you got into the gym feeling terrible, tried, and walked out is a win.
It's a win. All right. Last one, Aaron. Now remember, I'm just bringing it back and forth so you can land this plane properly. So you're being the best version of yourself. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5 was that you're speaking truth to reality about your circumstances to whomever comes into play, failures and successes. That's you being the genuine version of yourself as being the best version of yourself.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Wrap this up in the bow and give me the last rule. What's rule number 6?
The last rule is that you need to have a conversation with someone. You need to connect with a coach, a trainer, etc. You have to end with that because it's going to be gray areas. And what happens with most people, when they don't figure it out, they quit. So you got to get a support group.
That's right.
Support group. You got to end with a tribe. You get like-minded people doing the same thing that you're doing. It's going to make you like. But one time I was going to call Tony. I swear I wanted to call Tony, but it didn't get that extreme. But I was almost there. It was there. But I was like, who should I call? I'm going to call Tony. Tony needs to know something about some fitness, or you have a problem losing weight, he should call me.
Right.
If I want to talk about anything else in the world, I call you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I'm going to call you AI Tally. You only have to look at it like, wait a minute, let me think. Oh, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. Just gotta,
That is perfect. That is perfect.
That's a
definitely need to
that's
try.
a good way to wrap that up.
Definitely need to try.
You try. Okay? Tribe called best.
Tribe called best.
Tribe called best.
Tribe
Okay,
called
and that could be and let's walk through that. I'm gonna say something what that is. I want each one to say what that person can be.
Okay.
That could be your mother,
right.
Aaron. Who else could that be?
Be my brother.
Okay. Who else could that be? Tony?
Could be your best friend.
Right. I'm gonna say Tony's answer. It could be your therapist.
Yep.
Be your pastor.
Yep.
Give him one more, Tone.
It could be your sensei.
Okay. Just so you have an idea of where you can find these people at. Right. It's not just the same people that watch Yellowstone with you.
Right.
That's right.
It's not the same people that watch football with you because y'all have the same favorite team. Okay.
And what's important about what you're saying is, and to wrap this whole thing up, like Aaron just did, is it's important to have a mentor. It's important to have a guide, wisdom, somebody has been through it. And I'm gonna say this. There was a guy, I'm not gonna say his name, when I was in the car business. And I thought he was a complete idiot. But he said something. Youth is wasted on the young. And I never got it. I get it. But the fact that I thought he could offer me nothing, he offered me some of the wisest wisdom in the world. So now when I do the things that I do, when I mentor young men, I let them understand what they are doing, wasting their youth. So I've gained something from someone that I never thought I could gain anything from.
Right, and you utilize that in your
And now I'm
day-to-day.
utilizing it in my everyday.
Yeah, there's value to that.
Yes.
There's value.
But you know what also too is I've learned that it's like I reflect back when we used to go to the studio, right? And we used to try to figure the $400 together, and some people were working, some people wasn't. Then you had the brains, and you could write, and you would, like arrange the songs. And everybody had their little thing, Bug. Bug was Bug. And Mark, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Mark was Mark, being off key and stuff. But it's true though. God bless him. I talk to his brother like every week. He calls me. It's just everybody have something to bring to the table, man. They do, and you got to really pay attention to people because you could be that turning point for that person.
That's right.
That's the key point.
And that's what I learned even when I deal with people with music. I learned this a valuable lesson. Like, at the time we were getting calls from Polygram and all that, getting stuff in the mail. I felt I was feeling myself. And this lady on the avenue, she used to be a seamstress, and she was like, asked me to help her son write some songs, and I was like, I ain't got time, man. I'm doing a karate thing, making your own special uniforms, and we was getting all kind of little calls from our demos and stuff. We was making some noise. So I disregarded that guy. And then that guy came out that song, She's Too Hyped, and it was on fire on the radio in New York. And I knew that guy, I knew his mother. She was a seamstress. And she was like, my son needs somebody help with writing.
Wow.
And I just didn't have time for him. Guess what happened?
That's what happens.
See what I'm saying?
That's right.
I could connect those dots to another episode of Who Else We Know, but I'm gonna stop right there. Healthy dose of many approaches. You know who your tribe is. This deals with your mental health, your diet, your emotional well-being, and taking care of your temple. We kind of walked around that today.
Right.
Okay. The additional common theme is adaptation. That's what Tony spoke about when you go to the gym. If you just show up and walk away, you're still adapting to the situation. Okay. Every breakdown challenges the same thing. Can you adjust? Then will you adjust?
Right.
Okay. That's the element of help. That's the element that health forces you to look at. Okay. That the youth being wasting on the young, and as you get older, you kind of adapt in that same. So embrace, adapt, build. The people willing to embrace, adapt, and build are the people who will write their next chapter. That's what this triad right here has taught me. Okay. All right, need you to finish this thought. Okay, quick answers. Okay, the biggest lesson I learned from this exercise is, Aaron.
The biggest lesson I learned from this exercise is that I got it. I wrote it down. The biggest exercise I learned from this is that you have to start somewhere, and you have to just make a step. For example, you gave me a suggestion, told me the best investment of $20 in my life, right? The AI, and I did it, and I was like, it was an amazing tool, but I learned you had to feed it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just think. You can ask some Google questions, but if you're trying to build something, you have to have an idea. You have to give it an idea, and that's the biggest thing I learned out of just communicating. Even when talking to Tony and different things, I was like. Going back to the emotional wheel, I was like, let me check this out. I think that probably was the biggest thing for me because I didn't think I went through emotional things.
Okay.
I really didn't.
So that's something emotionally and some technology that you learned from this exercise.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tone, your turn. Biggest lesson you learned from this exercise?
The biggest I learned from this exercise and from, the podcast that we putting together is the village matters. You have to understand that the village matters. We are not individual pieces. A building comes together because it has a foundation, and then it stands on something. And if we think that we're standalone, the way we move, that I have to be the crabs in the barrel, we're going to consistently lose. So it's the village, understanding that the village is important. It is my life's work to let people understand that, is that the title, the word is Ubuntu. I am because you are. Right? I'm not I am because I am by myself. Right? I can make the most amazing camera, but if you don't buy it, if the people who I built that camera on, because what we have to understand is, I'm sorry for going on a tangent, what we have to understand is that camera came from an original thought. And it was built better and better and better. So I came to a part where I took all of these processes and processes and made something uniquely better. I couldn't do that without all the people that came before me.
Right.
Right? Your village, no matter how insane they are, no matter how prophetic they are, all have pieces for you to learn from. So I'm going to land it here. When I was in the car business, when I sat down as a salesperson, my manager, Joe Mara, I love that guy. To this day, we're still great friends, said, I want you to sit here and I want you to watch everybody. Examine their bad, examine their good. Put their good in your toolbox, throw their bad away. And every week he would count, he would sit me down and go, let's talk about Tally. What was Tally's bad habits this week? Are those your bad habits? So him coaching me that way, within 6 months, I became the top salesperson. Never been in the sales floor before. Within a year, I was assistant manager.
Okay. I am because we are.
I am because we are. It's an African term called Ubuntu.
Okay.
Here's another thing I'd like to add. Also, another thing I learned that, and this is for the men or the women, you got to heal yourself before you try to help somebody else. If you heal
Critically
yourself,
important.
it's easier. So a lot of people are going along with a lot of trauma, and you're just intertwining people's trauma with yours. If you honestly think that you can't do good by a person, and you know you're going through it, you shouldn't even get involved with it.
Nope.
Clear.
You're creating a whole lot of stuff going on.
Clear.
And that's the big thing. I mean, just from me looking at myself, it's like, you know my story. My wife passed away like 4 years ago, and I think she was an amazing woman. It was like high standards. So I'm not looking for one of the best. I'm looking for the best.
Right.
So I'm not going to just look for anybody who I think, I want to look for the qualities that I'm looking for. And sometimes people say people settle, and you should never settle, because you already know when you're involved in a relationship and you see, sometimes we see those red flags, we overlook them. You know they're dead in your face. You see them red flags, they waving to you like this, and you still like, oh, I like her, you know. But like I said, so that's the thing. Heal, and give people grace, and sometimes you gotta let it go by. Okay, really do. So
What I've gotten out of this exercise is keeping promises to myself.
Nice.
Okay. And within that, checking in with myself. Those are the two things that make it very simple. And that tribe thing is a big thing for me. And I'm on a quest for a tribe called Best. So I'm saying this as I'm looking at the camera. Yep, you got clipped for a reason. Yep, I'm still clipping for a reason. Because I refuse to move forward and not have myself surrounded by the people that will help move me, motivate, that I move and motivate, and we grow, become better, and prosper at the same time.
Yep.
Anything else is not on my plate. Just saying it out loud. Thank you, Goju Nation, for listening, for challenging us, for sharing the conversation. Right. Season 4 became a running conversation about where the culture is headed. Missed the episode, go back, watch it, challenge it, disagree with it. Tony will say, like, share, subscribe. Okay? The conversation doesn't have to stop. Keep challenging us and keep talking to us. Let me see them comments left and right. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care. Okay? Tap in. X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Post Point, has been a pleasure working with you guys. Okay? I want to give thanks to Aaron. I want to give thanks to Tony. I want to give thanks to Chai Marie. I want to give thanks to Pop Grizz. I want to give thanks to the what do I call this guy? We'll just call him Kenneth. We all know Kenny. Okay? And I want to thank those who motivated me positively and negatively. If I've mentioned your name, I care. If I didn't mention your name, I don't care.
Whoa.
And I'm never giving you the floor and audience to be seen and heard as if you do care or count. Let's be clear. Hold on one second. Let me get around everybody. Okay. Season 5 is coming in September. New episodes, live episodes, and then there'll be other things happening as well, too. Make sure you get on that newsletter as well, too. Aaron, what's going on with your life right now that you want to share? I know you got an event coming up.
I got an event August the 29th. It's actually the day before my birthday, so I'm also celebrating my birthday.
Nice.
It's called Leo and Virgoat Celebration. It's going to be at 94 Gramerton Avenue in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
There is a flyer, so I will be able to put that on this podcast that I've seen.
So, I'm working on, actually, I started my magazine.
Nice.
And I'm pretty much done. I'm trying to launch that on my birthday.
Okay.
The 28th or the 29th. And I'm working on my website, Baby King Management. I'm working on having a database and with artists that you can just go in the database, and if you want to hire a jazz act, a comedian, R&B singer, a group, whatever, you need just a bass player to play. You have a group. If you go on my hub, everything is there you need.
Nice.
So
Okay. Tony?
So the project that I'm working on right now is the summertime, and I do a lot of work with the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau. Giving my second conversation talk with some 11 to 16-year-olds. I built a program called the Village Project. It kind of teaches them where they need to be at in life. What I think that needs to happen is we need to give them examples. So I have a young man that I've been mentoring for a lot of years. I'm very extremely proud of him. His name is Jamali, and he went from middle school to college. He's going to be an engineer. So these young men that I speak to, 3 of them want to be engineers, right? So me and Jamali are going in to talk to them again on Thursday, and I will let Jamali have the floor to explain how he is a kid in their age range sitting in college classes.
That is amazing. That speaks to my STEM episode that I did with Devin, who is just graduated Spelman College.
Nice.
Okay. Who is going to Auburn University to get her master's.
Nice.
Which has a NASA program.
Okay.
But she is going to be building rocket ships.
Nice.
That's the type of energy I need in this world.
Outstanding. Right.
I don't need, I'm saying it, I don't need hairdressers.
Nope.
I don't need estheticians. Okay. I don't need not challenging yourself to be a better version of yourself, to show the world ways that we could be different and individual. There used to be a time, and I'm going to end with this, when Malcolm X got assassinated, people wanted to be doctors.
Right.
The worst they could be, or the best they could be, were nurses. They weren't allowed to be doctors. Okay.
Nope.
This is not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. It's a life thing. Okay. Dr. Ben Carson. Okay. The Republican that a lot of people have issues with. Okay. You have to remember, is the first doctor
Brilliant.
that separated Siamese twins that were joined at the head.
Yep.
He did that. A man of color did
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So we may not like his politics, but we gotta be respectful of what
Of
he
his
represents
genius.
to the culture.
Yeah.
To the culture. So when we have engineers, when we have people building rockets, this is who we have to speak about louder, okay? Because otherwise, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because we have to make our money any way we can. Otherwise, all we'll do is dribble and throw and make people laugh
And dance.
and dance.
Right.
And we cannot let, this is my final statement, we cannot let our entertainment be their folly. I'll say it again slowly. We cannot let our entertainment be their folly. Light and darkness cannot coexist at the same time. If you choose to be one, choose to be the light. We will see you in season 5. Bye-bye.
Got them jungle, we got the facts. Qualified, verified, certified plaques. Keep humble and remain class acts. If we choose to be the light, then we're never off track. Check the rhyme, can we kick it like Tribe does? All the time, we on point like the stylus.
Industry
Don't
rule.
forget the industry rule. Number 4080, baby, don't be fooled.